Hello, my name is Cormac. I'm a member of Too Many Cook 2, and I will be discussing my portfolio and my individual contribution to our game called Wavelink. So first of all, we have my basic information, and up here we have some of the tabs that I'll be looking at, and over here we have my portfolio section. Next we have what do I bring. So here's our sample of some of the works I did, and I also included my research portfolio on level of detail from last year. I explain how I bring a creative mind, hard working aspect to the team. Next, I have my roles. So my major is environmental modeler. I discuss how I'm responsible for some of for the corals, the landmarks, etc., and how I can be able to use, um, for example, LOD from last year to improve our game, and level designer, which is my minor, and I list down all of my other members' uh, job. Next, I have how does my role work with each other. Uh, I believe my role work with each other because it um, is less hassle since I'll be creating the level. I can visualize what model would be good here and what model would not be good here. And then here we have a description of what we want the wavelength to be. So it would be a relaxing exploration and diving experience with unique task like taking photograph, etc. And next we have my setback, or as I like to call it, bad asset, which I did. These include one of the leptoseries, my ceterocyritis, which is this coral here. The reason why I have this here is because I included reference images which does not look anything like this. So how I improved it was I made him look more like the reference image. Another setback asset was the fan coral. This problem with coral because it kept not properly implementing into the game due to the alpha channel problem with 3ds Max. And now I know what the problem is. I will have a fix for the beta. Okay, now we're moving on to my best asset list. So these include uh, image gallery to showcase all the different type of images that I have on an item. So one of the best assets was my Japan fighter plane, which I believe is one of the most realistic landmark in our game. And I picked it because it also showed good technique in extruding, UV unwrapping, and shaping the model, which I will be discussing more in the would discuss more in the environmental 3D model section. Other best asset were the combination of different type of corals. So here we have like a tube coral, and if I also go into the Sketchfab to showcase the turnable of the corals. Uh, I also have rocks, so I made approximately 8 rocks, and 5 of them were picked. So we picked the best five, and I picked it because the this showcased one usage of LOD. So we can take a high poly of these LOD, a high poly model, and then use one of the LDD methods, which I use Pro Optimize to make it a low poly model, and then I bake the high poly model onto the low poly model to make a normal map with so the low poly model can look like it was a high poly model. If we keep going down, I also have the sunken British loyalty ship. So this is like one of the main area, and I picked this because uh, I created a collision that allowed the players to be able to go into the ship, which is I believe kind of neat, and it allow us to implement more things. For example, having AI fish being able to swim through the ship rather than going over the ship. And then finally is the level map. So the green represent where you start, and the blue is the type of path you can take. Uh, you'll see, like when you start, you can see in your corner of your eye like a little glow stick, and it will drag you all the way down to the Fezdu wreck. If you look forward, there would be the ship, and then if you go this way, you'll find pieces of the plane slowly dragging you towards the plane, and in here is the um, coral area. Okay, now I'll go over to my environmental 3D model section. Okay, in my 3D environmental 3D model section, I split it into two types. So we have the rocks and fossil model. So this is the rocks and corals. So I go through each coral, discussing how I created them. So example here is like I do a walkthrough showing you step by step what happened. Each of these have a link to the Sketchfab. So if I go quickly, this is one of the tube coral. So you're able to turn to see the model in a 360 motion. If I go back, so pretty much I go through each of the coral, discussing in depth how I created them. Over here we have how I use LOD to bake high to low poly. This, as I discussed earlier, this was seen in the rock, uh, baking high poly rock to low poly rock. Up here is the plan. So proof of concept, I had all these planned, alpha, and then this is what I have remaining. Next section is the landmarks. So this is all the mechanical or notable area models that I created. So I created the Fezdu wreck, which is in a cabin area. Uh, I also have a link, video of it in Sketchfab, the British loyalty, and then the Japanese record plane were all like mention of how I created it. So now I'll move to the level design. So in here, I was charged of creating the level and the landscape in Unreal Engine 4.10. So over here, I did, this was iteration 1, so for the proof of concept, where I just go through how I created it. And over here, again, is the plan. Then alpha release, so this is iteration 2. And in iteration 2, I also replaced, I painted over areas that was affected by the reshaping of the land, and replace some of the corals to make it look well. And then over here is my collision detection. So most of the landmark have a basic square or bevel square collision detection, while example of it would of a sample of a better one would be the British loyalty, which I had to create its own separate, or not separate, its own complex collision to allow the player to swim inside the ship. And then down here is a video of going through the level that I created. Okay, now if I go to journal, this is week by week information on week by week information of what I did and how many points from scrum that I did, and any issue and all that. So I also discussed. So if I go here, like I discussed how well our presentation go. So in like Alpha 2, I give us our team name, our title, my role, the product, the whole product in the scrum, and how much point it is, and then the task that I was tasked this week, and how much I in total have from that scrum. So I only have 11 out of the 56, and then the process of doing those, and then the issue. Okay, if I move now to my reference images, so these are reference materials. Sorry, these are some of the references I use to help me create or help me in doing my jobs. So I'm not good at making, example, organic and rock models. So I look up videos to see how you can make realistic looking sea rocks and etc. Down here is the level creation, where I look at level streaming and landscape and portrait painting, which which Lucas would then later on do. And then here are some images of the images of like different corals and going through the wildlife of the Maldives, which is what our game is based on. Over here we have what software I use. So obviously I have I use Unreal Engine 4.10, 3ds Max, Mudbox, Substance Designer, and Shader Map. And then the final part is the mentor page. So this is a mentoring overview of what am I doing in why did I join to do the mentoring. What do I think I bring to the people, or to the group that I'm mentoring. This is a week by week process of like what I've done with them. This is the team issue that they have, which I help. There's no major one. It seemed like me and Kevin been mashed up with one of the best group, so we barely have any major issue. They barely have any major issue that we can solve. It's only like little minor one, like missing a comma or something like that. This is the logo that of the game that they're doing, and this is the team name. So Pioneer Game that I'm mentoring. Okay, well that's pretty much my portfolio overview. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope I'd like to thank you all for listening, and goodbye.